Hello, everyone, and it's me again. After a long time, I was not on social media. I didn't post much, and I decided to come back. And you probably what wondering yourself and say, this man again. What now? It's just me. I want to talk to you because you have tried a lot of things. It's not like I tried. I've done a lot of segments because I'm passionate about a lot of things. And everybody who has seen my content in the past, you know that I'm very passionate about the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm passionate about Africa. I'm passionate about melanated people everywhere in the world. It is Kwame Nkrumah who used to say that you are not African because you were born in Africa, but you are African because Africa was born in you. And this time I came back because I you will see there is a shift in my content and it has an undertone of spirituality because I realize that everything in life, every battle that we go through, it is spiritual. Whether it is personal development, it is spiritual. Whether it's development in your own family, it is spiritual. The battles that you have against in the community, it is spiritual. In your country, it is spiritual. On your continent, it is spiritual. In the world, it is spiritual. Unless you get to that uh, level of understanding your environment, it is very difficult. And I've been led to this path by the spirit of our ancestors, by God, but really um, a power beyond what I can say that I know and that I can express just with words. And you will see that change. You can hear that my voice is not well because I'm having a cold, but I insisted that I will do it today because today is February 1st, 2023. This is the supposedly Black History Month. That's the month they have given us. And the other thing that you will see about my content is that it will be very Afro-centric. And you already know the definition of Africa. So it will be talking about all of us because at the end of the day, we all originated from Africa, regardless of your race and other considerations. We are all Africans at some level. And I was just going through this to see what will help me. And just realized that the books, the Pentateuch, is the five first book in the Bible that the major monotheistic religions agree upon, whether it's Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, they agree on that. And faith has worked in such a way that I stumbled across a very valuable document, and it's a Bible. And the Bible, I know it thanks to the upbringing that I had amongst Jehovah's Witnesses. And that allowed me to know the Bible somehow. And lately, I've been receiving these messages about just a new way of looking at the same scriptures that I've read all my entire adult life. They certainly suddenly have a new meaning that has impacted my life personally on a level that I can say that I'm at peace with a lot of things. And I felt like this is something that I should share with others, especially melanated people, so that we can see in these books a fingerprint of our ancestors, of Africa being described in him. And it's not a twisting of the words, but this Bible that I am holding, let me just open it so that I can share with you what edition is this. This is King James Version of the Bible, and this is a 1976 edition. So it is very, very ancient, and not very, very ancient. There is more ancient than this, but to I was not born when this book was made. So, so this is it. Very, very rich. Things that I didn't know about the Bible. It was more explicit back then. And I will spare you the circumstances that made me stumble upon this marvelous piece of documentation that opened up really my eyes to what has to be done, how we can interpret these stories, and the importance of them. I've been very influenced by the work of Dr. Peterson, especially Maps of Meanings. And that book, don't read it, just listen it on Audible. And that really allowed me to see that there is more to the Bible than what we have been reading all our lives. And the fact that there has been a disconnect between what we've known for so long and what actually is there, the psychological ramification of these stories, how it shaped our ancestors' life, how it allowed them to survive harsh conditions. You name it, everything that our forefathers and our ancestors have gone through, there is a level of spirituality that allowed them to go through that and to survive. And they've left us a society that is not perfect, but we're there because we are a better version. We're supposed to be a better version of them. But unfortunately, we're nowhere near where they stood. And I am attempting with a lot of humility to capture the essence of what our ancestors, and in a very Afrocentric manner, were trying to tell us. Because one thing you have to understand about the Bible is that you have to consider it as a book from someone that wanted to transmit a certain knowledge, but passed through the hands and eyes of many, many other people who, for better or worse, felt like the original message was not suitable to for us, and changed, embellished, demolished some of the aspects of that message. But you would not throw the baby in the bathwater. There is still some really important messages that can help us contribute to shaping a new narrative that empowers people of African descent everywhere we are in the world. And that's my intent through this journey. And again, I'm humbly um, saying that I am not an expert in Bible matters, but I have been led to go through this and share this perspective for a reason. Back in the day, one will say the angel Gabriel visited me and asked me to do this, but why not? What if? And if you are up to it, we will go through this together and find this. So every evening, every other day, I will be sitting here with you, and we will go through these books, starting from Genesis, and go through the first five, the Pentateuch, and explore that, enjoy that, learn from it. And there's no criticism. I believe that every major religious person, individuality, would relate to these things, to these writings, as things that have had an impact in their lives. And if they have not had that impact directly, it was probably indirectly, because everybody around you was impacted by these books. And it's very important. You may be atheist or you don't believe in God and all that. That's okay too. All I'm saying is that there is no reason to cling into tribes and these isms that divide us. And although I am trying to ground this information in a more Afrocentric manner, I believe that it is not to exclude other people, but it's really to find myself, to find my family, to find my community, to find my country, to find my continent, to find us. Because a lot of us has been erased. And if we can find even a glimpse of that by sharing this information, I've benefited from many, many great spirits, like the likes of Billy Carson, the likes of Anthony Browder, Dr. Francis. Uh, I've seen and heard, read things that I've connected from multiple sources, and this has just shaped my own ideas. And the fear of sharing these without being criticized or called crazy, it takes a lot to come up here and start talking about your ideas on a platform that has millions of people, or maybe just people who know you, know your shortcomings, know your imperfections, and who, or maybe who know your greatness and see you in another thing that they've never seen you in. It's very difficult. It was very daunting to me. People know me, know my background, but I've searched for this information for so long and I've gotten to it. It feels like a purpose. It feels like this is what I was made to do, and I grasp it, and I feel like I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna go through this. We're gonna see this together and grow from it, hopefully, and learn from it. I've learned from many, and if you want to be a guest on this podcast or this monologue, whatever this will evolve into, um, just be my guest. Send an email, shoot a message. You will be more than happy to share your views. And if you disagree with what I say because you have more knowledge, um, definitely we invite that, because it's really with humility that we are approaching this. It is a discovery at the same time, a sharing of what we've been able to capture, because our being is really an antenna. We capture a lot of electromagnetic waves, and these waves determine what we create. And my intent is to really create um, a narrative that is very empowering for us, melanated people, for us, people from my own village, for us, people from my own country in the Congo, for us, people from Africa, for us, people who are melanated everywhere in the world, so that we can have that new way of seeing things, and enjoy that and embrace that and love everybody else without distinction. I feel like I can keep just saying this over and over, but I'm repeating myself now. It feels so, I feel happy. I feel blessed. I feel light that I have just said this, because I grew up in a religious environment, and being able to say this on my own accord without the permission of the clergy or the elders or people who hold the structure is very freeing. And I know it's trouble because I may not be able to describe myself as associated with a certain religion or such because of this enterprise. And that is a risk that I am willing to take. And certain things also shared may irk people of more power, of more knowledge and substance, and or anybody, and it could be a source of attacks or um, going back on things that I've done wrong in the past. I know it's a risk, and I'm willing to take it because for the first time in my adult life, I've seen something that I can do every day without exerting myself too much. I didn't prepare any any talk for this. I just freestyled it, and that's what I felt. That's how I was led to express it, and I'm sure that these words will come to me a little bit much easier as we progress in this, as I grow and mature in this ministry and journey. And I thank everyone that has contributed um, directly or indirectly to this. And it will be great to see how it goes, regardless of the results. But we know that everything will be good. Ashe. Bye, everyone.